Sir, you talked about the growth of the people. Um, so I just wanted to understand, I mean, there's an aspect of material growth, and also how do you help people achieve spiritual growth, and how is that part of the program?
See, we have several programs for that. One is spread of yoga in the schools and in the villages. Another is we have a scheme to distribute moral value books to schools, and we make them to study these, read these books and develop. You see, we have a program called as Bhajan training program, Bhajan camps once a year, so that in the villages the bhajans will be a place where all the people will come together irrespective of their caste and creed. Because in temples there may be some discrimination between the caste system and all that, maybe in few places the differences. But in bhajana mandirs there will be no difference because they can touch the God, they can worship themselves. So we support bhajana mandirs very much, plus have a bhajan training program of 7 days. Because it is said in the rural areas when they sing songs of praising God, some of them will be very harsh. So somebody asked, how God can tolerate this music? Somebody said, when they start, the God goes out, when they close, they come inside.
So the issue of, you mentioned about children when they learn and they get educated, but not being able to go back to working with their hands, working with the soil, etc. How do we solve this problem? Because it has been done in other parts of the world, I guess. And so what is the root cause and how do we get out of that? Because we do want our children educated, and yet we want them to work with their hands and work with the soil as well. In whatever aspect they do, whether in rural areas or urban areas. So
no,
just your thoughts on that.
I'm not sure how to give an answer to you, because when I went to China about 3 years back, they said the youth, between 16 and 60, the people between 16 years and 60 years are in the cities, and below 16 and above 60 are in the villages. I think same thing is happening in our country now. So maybe this last 25, 30 years, it is a changing period, a cycle, when people thought, let's go to safer cities, safer places, where it will be fixed salary and all that. And maybe that they start coming back. Now, for example, this natural farming, in the 60s to 70s, the government, the agencies, everybody marketed for fertilizers. So we shifted to fertilizers of artificial farming and all that. So this type of cycle, we call it as a cycle, chakra, where once it goes up, comes down. I hope again our youth will come back to the villages if it is found profitable. Because today, agriculture, you see the newspaper and say, oh, cost is rising. So from onion to vegetables to fruits are all expensive. Rice is, coconut is going to 12 rupees to 14 rupees, which was costing us 5 rupees. But then, one of my project directors said, sir, this is very interesting. If this is the price that we are going to get for our products, our educated youth will come back to village and start using the fields instead of city salary. So this may happen.
Good evening, sir. In what way could you inspire the youth? See, from what I know, my grandparents, they followed the natural way of living. And so they were so much healthier, and they lived their life in a more fulfilling manner, because they never had to take medicines. And till my grandmother, when she died at the age of 99, her hair was black, and she could still clean her room, and
no specs,
sparkling, no specs, things like that. So how can we, like now that we are involved in this, in what way? Of course, bhajans can also help, and I can understand that. But when I will tell my children, come on, let us sit and do bhajans, they are not interested. So how can we, spread the message?
They will be interested. If you go to Hare Rama, Hare Krishna movement, the bhajans are very popular.
Yeah, that's true. But
what should happen is an American accent. You should call Krishna and Rama in American accent. Not in Indian accent.
Spreading the awareness of.
No, what you are talking about something different. You are talking about natural living. You see,
How to
this
spread
is
that?
natural, because we have one of the first naturopathy college. We have the first naturopathy college, and all the 800 students who are with degrees are from our college. And we have started PG courses in this also. Slowly, people are going back to nature. We call it as back to nature. So this is slowly happening. Awareness is created every day. And it is the choice of the people to accept it. Even today, people in the villages are living in a normal way, but the TV influence is there. So instead of using the neem or the mango leaves for cleaning their teeth, they start using shampoo. And one more major factor of imbalance happening in our economy is that more than income, our expenditure has grown now. Now, one point that I always feel is, why people are shifting to urban areas is, they say our farms are not viable, but not viable for simple reason. You just think about this. You can decide on your own. Your income is, you know what's your income like. Even a salaried person knows what he will get in the end of the month, on the 30th or 31st. But then he will plan his expenditure. But in villages today, it is said that there are more mobile phones than toilets in India. There are more mobile phones than toilets in. So expenditure like power on the electricity they use, mobile charges, then all the day-to-day uses like they use toothpaste, toothbrush, shaving blade, and women use all the shampoo, this. I mean, I don't say it's wrong, but the expenditure is going high, and more than that, the dress which they used to manage earlier days, they cannot do now. They have to spend more. So expenditure is going up, income is stagnant or slightly varying. So the villages are not viable. Food also is hurt by this publicity. Now, I have not eaten pizza or a burger because I have a vow that I will not take food in the hotels. I am lucky. I can't be polluted. But I know others, when they talk about it, I wonder, what is that? They always talk of pizza, giza, that, this, and they say this is hurting the health. That is, of course, educating people is more than anything important.
Well, let's take one last question.
Sir, may we know your future plans to our villages for development so that we the youths want to support you?
You are welcome. You are welcome. Certainly you are welcome. And my ED is here, and we have Elio Nemo.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು
ಹೊಸಪೇಟೆ ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಹಾಂ, ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಸೇರ್ಬೋದು. ಈಗ ಧಾರವಾಡ, ಹಾವೇರಿ, ಗದಗ್, ಬೆಳಗಾಂ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿರಿಸಿ, ಉತ್ತರ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇವರ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್, ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಸಿಪಾಯಿಗಳು ಈಗ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇರೋರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಸಿಪಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾದರೂ ಮನಸ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಸಹಕಾರ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು.
Okay, one last question.
Sir, good evening. I have one very simple, straightforward question for you. You spoke about state funds being misused, and when we read it in newspaper, we really get frustrated about it. As youths of today's youths of India, what is that squirrel service we can perform on everyday basis that someday the state fund development truly reaches 60, 70, or someday genuinely 100%?
You want me to say philosophically or jocularly?
Point is, it should reach 60% someday.
If I have to say in a jocularly, I would say, hand over the country for one day to somebody else and receive the fresh freedom on the for India. Because see, we got freedom at midnight, 12 o'clock. Nehru wanted to give a speech to the world, with all due respects to him and salutations to him for all that great things he has done. He wanted to give a beautiful speech and say, when the whole world sleeps, at the stroke of midnight, 12 o'clock, India awakes. But India should awake in the morning, not at midnight. So many times as a spiritual head, I have faith in Vastu, I have faith in Muhurta, I have faith in these things. So I say, you hand it over and see that fresh freedom is issued early in the morning in a good Muhurta. All the problems will...
Dr. Hegde, on behalf of everybody in this auditorium, I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's give another big hand.